Hello, Scorpio. Welcome to Red Flora Tarot. Thank you for stopping by today. We're going to do a little sound clarifying for my dear Scorpio. Open that third eye chakra. All right, Scorpio. What does my dear Scorpio have in store for themselves in July? So this is a general reading. I know you know that. I'm just going to go ahead and repeat that. And of course, I would love it if you liked, shared, and subscribed. That would be absolutely fantastic. Let's get a little... I'm going to do one more shuffle for you, my dear Scorpio. I really want to get clear on what we've got going for my Scorpio friends this month. What kind of energy is going on in your life? What is the focus? Let's see. All right. Okay, I've been getting a lot of weird reversals, so if I switch them around, just bear with me. I am going to switch them back and forth because it's just been one of those days for readings. There's a lot of weird energy going on. Okay, so we've got the Four of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, the Seven of Cups, the Three of Pentacles, the High Priestess, and the Tower in reverse. Okay, wow. All right, Scorpio, what is going on with you, my friend? What is my intense, passionate Scorpios up to? What's the energy here? Okay, so we've got the Four of Wands. Four of Wands in reverse is victory. It's you know, the ceremony of greatness, we did it, we got there, look at this beautiful home that we have, and we you know, this is the gateway to the beautiful home, and look at how happy we are, yay. In the reverse, that victory may feel like it's missing something. I'm just saying. Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is, you know, he's the dark horse, right? He's a very slow energy. And he's very intense and brooding type. Then on the other side, we have the Seven of Cups. So perhaps this victorious moment, this home celebration, was met with a lot of fantasized ideals about what it was going to be. It looks to me in the month of July that it's not going to be quite as perfect as you may thought it was going to be, that it's going to take time, slow-moving energy to get to that place. You're exhausted even by it. There were a lot of ideas about this that all they are fantasy. They're not real. It's not exactly the, you know, the happy story celebration that you were hoping it would be. The Three of Pentacles in the upright is a perfected craftsman, yeah? In the reverse, it's the criticized craftsman. So maybe this celebration was met by, ooh, that didn't quite come together the way I thought it would. And not only that, you're sitting next to the High Priestess. Now, the High Priestess in this scenario, I'm sort of seeing her as an observer. She's the kind of energy that the High Priestess brings to the table is one of knowing without ego. She knows that, or this energy is the realization of knowledge that comes in many different forms, none of which are of ego-based thinking. So it's maybe saying that the idea that you were going to have this perfect thing going into this new situation, whether it was a new job, new home, new relationship, that isn't quite what you had fantasized. It's going to be a lot harder work than you anticipated, and you're not quite the craftsman that perhaps you were thinking you were going into it. The idea is that the High Priestess is saying, all right, fine. Settle into that. Allow that to be what it is. The Tower, we all know the Tower, it's like you get the Tower and you go, I got the Tower. Well, sometimes the Tower is the best thing could possibly happen, because it gets rid of all the fallacy, all the stuff that really isn't real anyway. It comes to a halt. It reveals itself, and you get down to the brass tacks of reality of what you truly want. In the reverse, it looks like you're not quite ready to embrace the fact that this celebration, this new beginning, as wonderful as it is, isn't quite what you had anticipated going into July. Now, this may not even occur until later in July. You may have gone into it the beginning or the end of June, the beginning of July, and then as the weeks pass, you realize, that's not quite right, and that's not quite right, and didn't anticipate that. As the High Priestess, the inner knowledge, the inner energy is saying, that's okay, but it's going to give you this moment of, that energy. It's like, wasn't what I thought it was going to be, and it's not quite what I hoped for, and now I got to do this, and it's going to take me this time. So, Scorpio, let's clarify with the Ascended Masters. I mean, the Scorpio's been having a great year, so, this isn't that big of a deal. You just need to get into your High Priestess energy and remember that maybe there was a good reason that didn't work the way you had hoped or anticipated working. Maybe there's a good reason that, the refrigerator closes like that instead of like this. Who knows? But you're going to figure that out. It might take a little time, but try not to let it frustrate you. So let's pull one of these cards. I was just waiting for it to pop out. It's not popping out. Okay, there it is. All right, there it is. Let's see what it says. I can feel positive while thinking positive. Okay. Well, I mean, that sounds a little redundant, right? Doesn't it? But when you think about the scenario that perhaps you've been dealing with, this new situation that wasn't quite what you anticipated, or you ran into some scenarios within that situation that you had not anticipated, you can still feel positive and think positively so that you can manifest a more positive disposition while working through something that perhaps you had not anticipated. The longer you stay focused upon what you do not want, the greater, the more powerful that thought will become. But if you are sensitive to your emotions and you withdraw your attention from the unwanted very quickly, you will begin to feel better and you will stop the attraction to the unwanted thing. So in other words, when you start noticing that door didn't close the way you thought it was going to close, rather than continuously focusing on that door, you can look at the floor and how beautiful that turned out, right? I mean, that's drawing your attention to the positive. Focus on the positive. Because all these other little things that you had anticipated being a certain way, or choices in a certain respect, aren't going to be exactly the way you had anticipated. So this next card is the Ascended Master. But, oh, that one just flew right out. Let's grab it. See what it says. Persistence, my friend. Now, if anybody can be persistent, I think a Scorpio can. He almost looks like he's probably a Scorpio, doesn't he? Or a Leo, actually. But nonetheless, an intense person who's persistent and, you know, creates what it is they want. Visualizes it, anticipates it, and doesn't lose patience with himself. He or she holds the energy of the High Priestess to work through these things that aren't quite as quality as you had anticipated. It's getting down to being persistent to get there. Persistent in your thinking, persistent in your action, and allowing for life to happen without, I don't know, beating yourself up because it didn't happen the way you had anticipated originally it happening. All too often, the Tower in the upright is like the best thing that could happen. The Tower is still the Tower in the reverse, however, maybe not such a drastic occurrence that has that energy shift or change. Could be very, could be a small thing, but it will shift the energy from, you know, somewhat disappointed from this very wonderful celebration of new home, new life, new job, new relationship, to, oh, I was fantasizing a little bit, I got to get out of my fantasy world about that, and realize that it needs this dark night, this slow energy, to get the quality craftsmanship, to get the quality communication that you want. That takes persistence. That takes the High Priestess energy, the full understanding, not just the material, but the emotional as well. And if anybody can dig deep, it's a Scorpio. I have no doubt, my friend, that you will figure it out. Have a great July, and we'll see you next month.